Welcome to the Bogosity Podcast for the 16th of April 2012, the podcast that cheats on other people's taxes. This is your host, Shane Killian, and please welcome back to the podcast, Jonathan Loche.
Hi, welcome back. In case you forgot, I am a Libertarian candidate for State House down in Florida and enjoy being back on the show.
Well, this is a special edition of the podcast. We're not going to do our normal News of the Bogus, Biggest Bogon Emitter, and Idiot Extraordinaire this week, because we're going to be covering something that just isn't being covered anywhere else. You know, when I started Bogosity, I didn't set out to make it libertarian-oriented. I just started covering everything I saw that was bogus. So I've gone after creationists, astrologers, moon hoaxers, all sorts of people. But I didn't shy away when it comes to politics, and there's a lot of Bogosity in politics, as I'm sure you know.
Far too much.
And I don't know about you, but I found out that most of the solutions to those problems are libertarian in nature.
I'd have to agree with you. I'm a former Democrat, and as I started, covering politics or looking into politics more in depth, I fell in love with guys like Harry Brown. I really started gravitating towards the libertarian perspective. Also majoring in economics in college. That was really interesting. So
yeah, I kind of came from the liberal left too, and just as I started learning more about it, there was just so much stuff there that didn't make sense, so I started moving more and more towards libertarians. So over the course of the podcast and even in the Bogosity series, the video series, I've covered a lot of libertarian arguments, and so now this podcast has a lot of libertarian listeners and gets a lot of coverage over in more libertarian places on the net. And a lot of people there listening to this are going to be going to the Libertarian National Convention, which is 3 weeks from now. I'll be there. What about you, Jonathan?
I'm leaning towards I will be, but it's still a little bit up in the air.
Okay, and since nowhere else is actually covering the candidates for the Libertarian presidential nomination, and we'll have to make that decision when we get there, we're going to try and step in today and fill that gap a bit.
Hopefully.